Okay guys, so welcome to Rusty Designs and to another part of Project Freebie. Now, I've taken the engine out and what we're going to be covering today is basically another how-to, a little step on this conversion from going 1.3 to ABF. And to do that, I'm going to be using this pedal box and this bracket, which is basically so I can fit the hydraulic clutch because I'm going to be fitting an O2S. It's kind of like an O2A, O2J gearbox with some custom gear set and also a Quaife LSD in this ABF. So it's going to be a nice little 6-speed box with a Quaife in it. But anyway, onto this. Unfortunately, this only really applies to left-hand drive cars. So unfortunately, this doesn't really kind of include UK guys with right-hand drive cars and South Africa with right-hand drive cars and Australia. You don't have the option of, you know, going basically OEM plug and play. You're going to have to kind of go you know, have something mounted up on the pedal box to have the clutch master on it, but it can be done. It can be done. There's a few companies out there doing stuff, but this is all OEM. This is a pedal box from the Passat B3, as well as this bracket is as well. So it's going to be plug and play. So what the first thing we're going to do is going to remove the old one out of the car, which is kind of stripped down already a little bit. And the fuse box is down. So the next thing you need to remove is going to have to be this little bracket here, and there's two 10mm that hold it in place. One there and one at the top here. Also I'm going to have to maybe remove this heating pipe off here and potentially drop the column as well. So I started off by moving the actual fuse box support, and that was a bit of a pain, it still is. It's kind of wedged in here with the wiring, you have to be careful to get it out. Wow. Okay, and that's it out. So remove this bolt here, which is a 10 on one side of 13 on the other side, and it goes here. And also I've removed the UJ off the bottom, so I've got a bit of movement in the column, not much, but hopefully I can then wiggle the pedal box around that little bracket, I'm hoping. Next now is going to be the 13s that hold it in place. There's a couple. There's one up there, one there. Hopefully it will focus. There's a couple under here under the carpet, and there's another one or two at the top there. So this little bracket came off, which is the bit that went around the column, but unfortunately, like I said, on the other pedal box, it's all one piece. It doesn't come off like that. So at least this pedal box will come off a lot easier. Now I've got, I think there's another 4 bolts to release, and I have the pedal box out. Okay, so I've loosened all the bolts off, and the pedal box is free. Now I've got to try and wiggle it out. I'm going to need 2 hands for this. And there you go. And here you have the pedal boxes side by side, so you can see what I mean. This one did make my life easier with that little bracket. This one, it's part of the pedal box. So this is going to be a pain, I think, to fit that on. It's going to be a bit of a mission, but I'm going to try. It'll be a lot harder. But yeah, so these are the main differences between, you can see the clutch pedal is straight. This one has kind of a kink in it. Also, the brake's the same, the accelerator is the same, with the same fitting on it, so it's all plug and play. Now, I'll show you the back of this. This is where the magic happens. So this bracket goes on the bulkhead like that, and that's where the location goes for the clutch master cylinder. Now what we need to do is put it on there. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap, but that's normal because you actually got a little rubber that fits in there, it takes up the gap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that and then drill a hole here. So with the cone drill, I made a perfect hole. And there you go, lines up perfectly. Now let me get a master cylinder and double check and make sure it fits through that hole. And that's perfect, really cool, so I'm happy with that. So now, let's fit the pedal box. Okay, so in the end, I had to drop the column down. There was no other way around it. I should have done that at the beginning. Maybe it would have made my access a lot easier. But it's done. I don't know how much you can see in there. So after much fiddling with the steering column, I had to adjust a few little bits, especially the bracket that holds the column at the bottom. Now, there is adjustment in the pedal box, so you need to make sure that once you've done that, it all lines up. And so there's the hole as well for the clutch master. And that's it. Also, you can see the ECU there in the background. That's where I'm going to be mounting it up, behind the central console. Okay, and that's more or less covers this short video on how to do, and for these left-hand drive cars, to have the clutch master cylinder. All right guys, so that calls it a day. Like you saw, bolts off all nicely. So what's the next video? Because it's going to be kind of pressing on with the engine, getting it.